What's going on, guys? Awesome back, and today I'm bringing you the next installment in the Ultimate Map Guide series, that being Nighthaven Labs by the title. Now, this is one of my favorite maps, so I'm very excited to do this video. But if you guys don't know what the Ultimate Map Guide series is, basically I go over how to defend the map, I go over the operators to bring to each site, I go over the site setup for each site, and I go over how to actually defend each site on each map, and in this case it's Nighthaven. And then I go to the attack end and I show you guys the operators and then how to actually attack each site so you can win each site on the attack and win each site on the defense. But before we get into the video, make sure you guys go down in the description. My Twitch is linked down in the description along with all of my socials. I'm going to be more and more active on Twitch in the coming time. And then also make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button if you want to. And I would greatly appreciate it if you did. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so we're going to kick it off on the defensive end, and the first side we're going to be talking about is going to be second floor command center and servers. Now, operator wise, we're just going to go through them, and then I'm going to give you guys obviously the ones that you need to for sure bring, and then the ones that would be good also. So smoke and mute, these are two operators you can literally bring to any site in the game, and they're going to be good. Maybe less of a smoke, but smoke's still good because of the anti-denial. But these are two operators that you can bring to the site and any site in the game, and they're insane. Castle you can bring to the site. It's mainly about your team's playstyle and preferences. So like Castle's going to be good for some teams and some teams it's not going to be. So Doc is very good. Velk is so strong. I know, like, everyone knows Velk is good, right? But sometimes I feel she's underplayed. But on this site, for sure, she is a very good operator. So I highly suggest bringing a Velk. Now looking at Bandit, you for sure want to bring a Bandit, Cade, or a Tuberal. Or you bring like a Cade and a Tuberal, or like a Bandit and a Tuberal, or just like a Bandit, or just a Cade, or just like all three, or like just Bandit, Cade. Bring any sort of that. You want to keep the IT wall closed. You want to try to keep the connector wall closed. You want to try to keep the pillar wall closed. You want to keep all of these walls closed. Triple wall on garage closed. If you can keep those walls closed, you're going to have a much easier time defending the site. Trust me. And then Jagger and Wamai are going to be good because Mira's very strong on this. I highly suggest bringing a Mira if she is available because you can play it on the triple wall on connector or on garage, and then you can play it on the connector pillar wall, which I'll probably bring Mira and show you guys the site setup for that because she's very good. So I'd bring her, and then every other operator that would be good with her, like Mute, Wamai, and Jagger, are going to be great. Echo, always a great operator for sure. Warden, great operator. You bring the shields are very strong because if you want to put it inside of the double doorway on, like, I'm pretty sure that's blue or aqua stairs, like, that's a very strong shield placement. So like bringing an operator with a shield like Frost or like Warden is very good there. Goyo, awesome operator, always fantastic. Bring him to any bomb site and he's going to be insane. He has one of the best guns. You get impacts, proximities, bulletproof, you know what I mean? Goyo's just great. You could bring a Goyo on this site or any other site, and you could never argue against bringing one. Fenrir, pretty much always good. Azami's very good on this side if you know where to put the barriers. I don't know where to put all of them. I know like some of the basic ones, but Azami's very good if you know what you're doing and where you're placing them. She is very strong because the site is pretty small. So bringing Azami to help, you know, cover lines of sight and stuff like that and create lines of sight and like cover is going to be very good. Malusi, always a great pick. Malusi's awesome. You get the 4 Banshees, which are going to be insane. Aruni's like a decent play, I'd say, and then obviously Tuberal. So the operators in the end that I think are a must bring, you can bring any sort of operator combination, but the ones that I think are a must bring are going to be wall denial. So like, again, like if you're bringing a Bandit and a Cade, or just a Bandit Tuberal, or just a Bandit, or Cade Bandit, or Cade Tuberal, or just a Cade, like any of those operators in the in those combinations are going to be very good. And then honestly, I just bring a Mira because like it just adds more layers to the defense. I feel like if you have a Mira, and then honestly, I'd bring like a trap operator. Did I talk about Legion? I don't think I talked about Legion. Legion's going to be good on this site. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of whack here, but yeah, Legion, I bring a trap operator for sure. Like Legion's always going to be good. And then honestly, I think those are the only operators you like must bring. If you want to bring an Azami, that would be a very good operator. And then if you want someone to lurk below, you can. So like a Vigil would be good, but it's not like a must to have someone lurk below, but like it's very good. You know what I mean? So those are the operators that I would say you need to bring and the essentials. All right, so moving on to the actual site setup and defense for server and command center. Basically for the setup, I'm on Mira, which is a very good operator. I'm showing you guys. So first, by this pillar, right, this is connector in here. So you want your first Mira to go on this right side. head holes right over here. You can make this a jump rotate, which I usually do. In connector, you want to reinforce these 2 walls. This is a wall that you want to be cading or banditing and preventing them from getting, right? Because they come in here, and then obviously it makes it harder for the Mira. But if you keep it closed, then they have to like literally just come through this door, and it's way easier for your Mira. Moving over here into command, I have this wall closed. This is what I want to say. If you do not have a Mira and you don't have a rotate out here, like if you, because basically what you want is like, if you don't have a Mira playing garage sometimes and you want to play garage, you can bring in a zombie and a zombie can play garage, and that's why you would keep this open. If you have no one playing garage, triple reinforce this wall, okay? Triple reinforce this wall. Don't have the rotate. It's just gonna make it harder for you guys. You guys are gonna get picked, right? If you don't, it's just better to have an Azami or a Mira to have this. If you don't have either of them, triple reinforce, honestly. And then if you have this rotate, make sure you reinforce this wall just so you don't get caught up by like E-box, kill box, whatever you want to call it. So you know you don't get caught like that. But if you have this triple reinforced, don't reinforce this side and put head holes here, okay? I'll say that, okay? And then moving over here, this is right by, I think this is Aqua, no? Or am I, CC? CC? What do they call? They call that something different, but you want fuels here, reinforcement here. This is where you would put your shield. If you bring a shield, you can put your shield here, and then you can kind of just hold this, and then they're just kind of like, you know, they can't really do anything. Don't put it right here. Put it like wherever in this hallway, like more back. But that's kind of how you set up this site. And then obviously we have IT. This is closed. So holding the site is really interesting because it's pretty fundamental, right? This is why this site is very reliant on, can you keep walls closed and can you like waste time? It's like you need to, it's like equipment based. It's a really equipment based map, because if they can get quick map control, right, where if they get like IT open, right, and then they get like garage, and then like they have this, oh, you have this like triple reinforced and you like open it, or and then they have this, and then you know they are getting over into like CC over here, and like Aqua, or like, well, I literally forget what this is called, but if they get through here, burn this shield, you are so pinched right in the site. So it's your ability to hold on to everything around it well. So like, yes, you want to hold on to garage, but you need to know when to come back into site and to triple reinforce this, right? Your Mira, you know, needs to know when to swing, needs to know when they need to swing out, you know what I mean, knows when they need to cover up. If this gets broken, you know, you can reinforce this. It is what it is. And it's basically just keep the walls closed, hold everything around it, make them like make the time window down so much to where they have to run in, right? Because if you look at it, right, it's basically like if they get all the walls, right, and you're like getting back into sight and you're like holding certain things, right, they're gonna have to come through here, right? They're gonna have to come through here. They're gonna have to come through this single door. They're gonna have to come through this single door, which you have feet holes on. If this is triple reinforced, yes, they may have to walk through the breach, but like if this isn't open, right, and you can force them to not have anything open and like have to walk through doors, it's basically just gonna be, it's gonna be easy, right? It's gonna be easy. You have someone playing a shotgun right here. You bring like your mute, and he just holds here, and he can just bang, swing, or I shot my shotgun out, bang, swing, bang, swing. It's really easy. It is really, it's really easy. It's just gonna rely on, can you keep things closed? Can you, you know, fall back at the right times? Can you win your gunfights? And this is a pretty easy site to defend, I think, and it is a very good site if you know how to play it right and you can play it like this. All right, next up, we're going to skip down to the basement where we leave the 2 first floor sites for the third and fourth things that I talk about. So for basement tank and assembly, looking through the operators, smoke, again, is going to be a very, very good operator to deny plants. Mute is going to be very, very good. Castle is a lot more viable, I think, in the basement than upstairs, honestly. Castle is going to be very good on, like, some of the first floor sites, and one of the first floor sites, which I'll talk about, but Castle, depending on the team's play style, is pretty good in the basement. Doc, always going to be a big pick. Velk's always going to be a great pick. Obviously, I think for this site, you want people, or not, I think, you want people roaming upstairs on this site, so, like, if you want to put some camps upstairs, Velk's going to be good for that. Get some intel. Bandit, Cade, Tuberal, just like upstairs. I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but you want to bring a combination of three of them, you know, 1 through 3 of them. Moving on, Jaeger, I will say, if Mira is available, pick Mira on the upstairs and the basement. If she is not banned, you better be bringing a Mira upstairs and downstairs. Honestly, she is so strong on this map and on these 2 sites. So like Jaeger, and that makes Jaeger and Wamaya and Mute very viable. are more viable than they would be. Echo is always a great operator. Legion for sure. Just trap operators in general on the screen right now. You want to be bringing them pretty much to every single site, especially this one. Vigil is going to be good. Any roaming ops too, because you want like one or two people upstairs, honestly, because you know if they get the main breach open, and I think that I don't know exactly where that is. That's going to be assembly. I think that's assembly. I have no idea. I think it's assembly. But you know when they get the main breach open and stuff like that, you know you want to be able to deny from upstairs and not have them have just control. You know what I mean? For post plan or anything. So definitely for that, Goyo again, fantastic operator. Always Warden is very very good because a lot of people run like smoke sense and stuff. Maybe not sense, but a lot of smokes and stuff, so they can get plants down and like default plant spots. So Warden is very good, honestly, pretty mandatory operator I think for this site. Clash is very good, obviously, because you're defending the main breaches. So I honestly, you could bring a Clash and that would be very very good for your team. Malusi, always a great operator. Rooney's decent on this site. Azami, she's all right. I wouldn't bring Azami. I don't think you really need to waste a spot on Azami. Fender is always going to be good. And then Scopos. Every single like first floor basement site that I bring up, Scopos, if you are really good on Scopos, you better be running her because she is a perfect roaming operator. You know what I mean? She is perfect. So Scopos for sure. The only mandatory operators I would say for this side are going to be Bandit, Cade, like Tuberal, combination again of one or all three or two of them, you know what I mean? And then I'd bring like Mira. I think those are the only two you really need, other than like obviously you want trap operators just so you can get intel and then like people to roam, right, like your vigils and your scoposes. But like I think the like Mira's like just so good. It's just so good on these sub 2 sites, and I'll show you the Mira spots for this basement. One of them is pretty obvious, and I'm gonna show you the other one, which is actually tech. But yeah, those are the only operators I think are mandatory and the operators you should be running. All right, so moving on to the basement defense and site setup, we're gonna start first here in Nano, right outside of, I think this is assembly. So first, obviously, we're on Mira. So when you bring a Mira to the site, obviously you want to bring this default one. This super strong Mira obviously forces them to clear this before they can get this breach. So that is the first one, honestly, and then obviously you want to reinforce these two walls. And then I want to move over into Exo. This is going to be a very important spot to hold. So make sure you reinforce this hatch, and I'll talk about this just in a little bit a little bit later. Make sure you make feet holes here right outside of cargo. For sure. And then this wall is really up to preference. Now you can put head holes in here. You can put like head holes here and like reinforce this side, or you can reinforce both. You know what I mean? But I would either reinforce both or make head holes on one. If you do leave head holes, this does, I will say, help the person playing in Exo or near Exo. So if you want to do that and want to have like a little bit more pressure onto the people pushing down Exo, you can do it like that. Okay, but if you want to double reinforce it, it's totally up to you, right? As we move over to tank and Animus. That's what this is called. You want to make feet holes on this wall for sure, and then reinforce that. Obviously, get this hatch, and pretty much this is what I was talking about with default plant, where like why Warden would be very good on this site, because they smoke this. You like smoke all this off, and then you can plant here, and then you have people watching through the window. You have people watching through like this, and it's pretty broken. So like bringing C4s and like Warden is a way you can easily counter this. I wanted to touch on this last Mira right here. This is the other Mira. If you are running Mira, you probably should be putting down. I learned about this one from my goat Geo, and basically it just lets you see default plan. It lets you see all anonymous. It lets you see this whole tank site, and then also if you make lines of sight right over there in Nano, you can get an angle on the breach. So it's like a very good Mira. The only thing is you just have to watch out for like if Exo falls and they start walking down this hallway, or they come walking down these stairs. And you reinforce this hatch, by the way, I forgot to say that, but it's basically just like, this is why you have trap operators. This is why you bring like barbed wire and stuff. So like if when they're walking down, right? Because if you have nothing on there and you're playing this, you're gonna be cooked, bro. You're gonna be absolutely cooked. So basically, the things you need to hold on this site for sure is one, gonna be these default plants. Make sure you're bringing things to defend default plant right here. That's why Mira is so good, because even if they smoke this, you can hold that, or if you need to like push up and C4. So hold these walls if you can, you know what I mean, because then that'll make it harder for them to push, because a lot of people only know how to push it getting these walls open. They don't know how to push it like vertically or down Exo. So try to keep these walls closed if you can. Make sure you guys are holding exo for sure. A lot of time, you know, they may not do a heavy exo take, but that's why you like reinforce this hatch, have someone playing on this pillar, and honestly just have this open so someone can help him. You know what I mean? The Mira or whatever that's playing on here, on that Mira over there, can help this guy if he needs it in exo. And I mean, yeah, those are like the two big things, because if you hold exo and they get this breach open and they're trying to plant, you can just like be a menace, you know what I mean, and swing when you need to. Obviously you don't want to swing like too frequently, but basically the keys to the site are just make sure they can't default plant, basically picking the right operators for that, and then holding on to exo and holding on to the walls. And then the last thing, vert. Make sure you hold vert, please. You need to hold storage. Storage is what is above this, and basically you can see it. The way these like lines or like the floor is made, it basically just goes straight down, right? So like if they plant here and you kill everyone around and you're trying to plant, this guy can just kill you easily. So if you can hold above, it's going to be very, very good, right? Because one, you know, this whole floor is soft in here, this whole floor is soft over here. So one, you're preventing all that. But two, if they are trying to push through this this assembly breach, right, this double, and you have complete control of upstairs, you can make some holes, and then bang, you know, you're able to just defend it without you needing to even be downstairs. So that is how you hold the basement on Nighthaven. All right, so for the next site we're going to be talking about is going to be first floor control room and storage. This is a site where you're going to be playing a lot of vert, and you're going to be setting up a lot of the outside of the site. You know, you're not going to have a lot of people like tucked into site. So looking at the operators, smoke, always great. Mute, always great. Castle is very good on this site because there is a lot of just openness. So castle is honestly, like, depending on how you're running your strat, castle might be a mandatory pick, depending on, you know, your thoughts and how you feel about the site and like how you like to play it. But castle is very, very good, especially for the first floor. I'd honestly just bring castle. Doc always, Valk always. Frost is kind of decent actually. I don't know if I'd waste something on her like this. Like, if I don't know if I'd waste a spot, but like Frost isn't like a horrible pick. Bandit, honestly, I would run a bandit. I don't think you really need like a Cade tuber out. I would just bring bandit and trick the IT wall, because the IT wall is in IT is like right above like storage. I think that's storage or stock or storage. I think it's storage, but like it's right underneath like where the actual site is, or yeah, it's storage. So it's like right, IT is right above storage. So if you can keep that wall closed and keep that vert, you're locked in, bro. You can just deny plant. It's easy. Or if you want to bring K2, bro, it might be a little safer. You can bring Mira. Mira's a good pick because you can set them up literally how you do on the normal second floor one, and then you're locked. You know what I mean? So Mira's very good. Again, that boosts Jagger, Wamai, Mute. Tachanka honestly isn't like horrible because you can deny plant and default plant, which is like in storage. So like Tachanka is actually a decent pick, I think, in this. Echo is going to be good, obviously. Your trap operators, your legions, your Ellas, your roamers like Vigil are going to be very good. Maestro is going to be very good, honestly, I think. Moving on, Goyo again, always great. We love Goyo. Warden's going to be good, always. Clash, you could play Clash, I guess. But I don't know if it would be the best use of a 5 spot or one of the 5. Malusi, honestly, for sure. And then moving on to Zami. Zami, I mean, she's not like outstanding. Like, you can bring her, but she's not like insane. Fenrir is gonna be good always. Tubera, obviously, and then Scopos, obviously one of the best roamers in the game. So honestly, the mandatory things I would say is bring some sort of wall combination again for the 3rd site in a row, just so you can keep IT wall closed. Bring a Mira for sure, because like you want like 3 people upstairs. I think I would say you want like 3 people upstairs and like 2 on site or like near site. And so I'd say like bring Mira for sure, and then I'd bring like C4s and plant denial, so like that being like smoke, Tachanka, C4s, maybe like Warden, stuff like that. One dude and stuff like that, so you can deny default plant, which is like right in storage on the pillar. I'll show you in a second if you don't know where it is. Pulse, honestly, I didn't say anything about Pulse, but Pulse is low-key good because you can play underneath and like deny plant, which is very good. And then the other mandatory dude I'd say is like Castle. If you want a Castle for first floor, Castle's very, very strong on this site. So like if you want to bring a Castle, I think that would be pretty good. All right, so moving on to how to set up and defend control and storage. Now, this is a very, very good site, so I suggest you guys go here. But to start off in control room, the only thing you're really going to do is going to make a rotate here. You're going to reinforce this. Now, you don't have to put, I don't think you're supposed to put this here, which is on me. Because it depends on how you want to play it, actually, because like you can put this here, but like a lot of people on this backside will go like make a rotate here and make this so like they can kind of get back and forth, which this is why people bring a castle, and why I say a castle is so good, because people will castle like this, people will castle this, they'll castle this, right? And because this is a cut angle, which if you guys don't know what a cut angle, it like cuts the map in half, so like some people will just sit on here and then like you can catch people rotating. That's why you bring like a castle to cut that off. But basically you can make a rotate here, it just makes this whole floor like super open. But I'll show you guys why I said you can use this reinforcement one of two ways. So moving into storage, right, you're going to reinforce this. This is where the default plan is, right here, just so we are aware. We're all on the same page with that when we talk about it a little bit in a second. Make sure you double reinforce these warehouse walls. You need to do that for sure. And then the rest of the site setup is going to come upstairs, because the thing with this site is, yes, obviously you need to defend the linear part of it, but it is going to be huge to hold upstairs just because of like default plan and stuff like that. The whole site basically being, you know, soft. So moving into IT, you're going to use two of yours things on this. You want to keep this closed. This is where your branded arcade is going to be tricking. For this, honestly, you can bring your mirror here, and you put a mirror right here, and you're locked in, right? You bring a mirror, you can put it right here. Basically just how the second floor setup usually is on this map. You just make it, again, just above, you know. So this is why I said you can use that reinforcement downstairs or upstairs, because a lot of the time if you are holding this and they like get this and they're pushing you from here, you can just reinforce that off, which I would probably suggest just bringing it up there. But if you're not playing that extension, don't worry about it. And then like here, use your reinforcement because you just want to play like close on this. So I would say like 3 people up here, honestly, because again, like this is default plan, right? If you hold IT, right, and they don't get this breach open, and you hold vert, right, and they go for default plant, which we identify was right there, you know, you can kill them easily right there. So the big things with this map, I will say, or not this map, this site, basically how to defend it, right? If we just walk through kind of how the site setup is catered, basically you want to hold vert over everything, right? You want at least 3 people up here, and then I'd put like 2 in sight. If you want to have like 2 upstairs and then like maybe like 2 in sight, or honestly you could just stick 1 person in sight. You could stick like a smoke or do with the C4 in sight, just in case they try to go for default plant. And then I have someone playing like linear over by like lounge over here, and like vending, kitchen, and cafeteria, and you can play over here, right? And that's why you bring like the castle, right? Because, you know, it lets this player play a little bit more freely while also being able to come back into sight with the castle there, with the castle there, with the castle there. So make sure I would have someone roaming around linearly. I would have at least 1 person in sight. You can have like 2 above, and then honestly, if you want someone to play lower, like underneath, not be a bad play, but at least 2 people upstairs, at least 1 person kind of roaming the map, and then you can decide, you know, obviously you have 1 person then in sight, that leaves 4 that's 4 people, and then 1 person can either go upstairs, he can help sight, he can help dude, you know, roaming linearly across the entire map. But that is how to defend and set up this first floor site, storage, and control room. And last but not least, the last site we're going to be talking about is going to be first floor, kitchen, and cafeteria. Now, I believe that this is the worst site, so you should probably go to all the other 3 that I suggested before this. But if you have a preference to the site and you like it, go for it, you know what I mean? Operator wise, I think again mute is very, very good. I don't know if you really need smoke on this site. I think mute is good. Castle's pretty decent. You're gonna want vert on this site for sure. Dock is gonna be good. Velk is gonna be good because you can get some C4 kills above if they jump in, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be like frost, because there's the windows right above sight. In the room above sight there's windows, so like frost. Velk, good. You don't really need bandit. I mean, you do for the main wall, the double wall, I'm gonna be honest, but like I'd look at just bring Cade, honestly. Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, just bring one of them. I don't think you need to bring a tuber out a trick. I think you just bring one of them and you're fine, right? Mira, you don't really need. Bring some trap operators, so like Capcan, Legion, Ella. Bring Echo. Echo is a very good operator. Vigil, you want some roamers. Maestro is a very, very strong operator on the site, bro. My friend always runs them. Shout out Desmond. I love him. And Maestro, good operator. Goyo, fantastic operator as always. As always, we love Goyo around here. Warden is decent. I wouldn't bring Clash. I'd bring Malusi, honestly. Malusi's a very good operator. Azami, I haven't seen a lot of people bring Azami to the site, but I feel like you could get some good like lines of sight and like creation around the site if you bring Azami. But I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't bring Azami, Fenrir again, Scopos, God tier Roamer, and stuff like that. The only mandatory operators I think you need is like you don't really need any. I'm gonna be honest. I think this site is like you can kind of just play it however you want. Again, like universal rule, you always want trap operators. So like that would be like the only like, like roamers and trap operators. Those were only like two mandatory ones that I think you need to bring. Again, throughout that, throughout all the operators, like for this site, I don't think that, again, like you don't need wall, you don't need a Mira, you need trap operators, you need roamers, and then I mean that's pretty much anybody. You can bring pretty much anybody to the site and you can do successfully. But it's gonna be tough because this is a tough site. But I'd bring like a mute, Cade, bandit, and you're good. Trap operators, roamers. Bye. All right, so moving on to the site setup and actual defense for Cafeteria Kitchen on the first floor. We're going to walk through it. So starting off, you want head holes right above this wall right here. Obviously, it just gives you a good line of sight. If you're playing like in this corner or if you're playing like right here, you just get a line of sight there. And it's very strong, right? Obviously, and then even if you're like over here, you get a lot angle into that room. You're going to double reinforce this cafeteria wall. I like to reinforce this wall. Now, I don't really see a lot of people doing this, honestly, but if you reinforce this wall, you can either leave this soft or you can put like head holes here, which I kind of like because the thing is like you can get shot from that window if you're like this, but if you're in this rat spot and you have like head holes, I guess maybe it's like if they drop this, it's kind of chalked, but like if you want to put feet holes, you can. I'd put like head holes or feet holes. It's preference, honestly. I don't know if head holes are the best, but that's usually what I put. Maybe I'm a bot. Moving into this pantry area. Again, make sure at the start of the round, like if you run out, I'll show you guys in a second when I go upstairs, but basically, for this pantry, you want feet holes all along here. Don't ever reinforce this because you can have someone play on these exo stairs and like it's very, very strong. It prevents a hatch drop. You can play all across like this vending machine area and it's very, very strong. I'll go over there in a second for you guys. And then moving over, I wanted to show you guys this one thing. So usually you can double reinforce this wall and usually you would, but if you want to, oh, okay, I did not mean to do that. If you want to throw like a quick, if you want to throw like a little rotation into lounge and put like a castle here and like maybe you just throw some castles around and have like some extra hold, you can put a rotate here and get in and out and then like fall back, which would be pretty cool. I don't know. I was playing last night. Somebody did that, and it was low-key comp. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then obviously, again, I'm showing you guys here, right in vending on these exo stairs. If you make feet holes here, you can kind of play this, and even you can play into like kitchen area with just these feet holes. So these are very, very strong to prevent hatch drop and like kitchen takes, and then also helping contest lounge if you guys are doing the castle strat or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's basically the whole ground floor. Now I wanted to say that you basically do want to be playing vert on the site just because obviously like pretty much everything's soft over here other than this and kitchen area. So I headed upstairs. Headed upstairs. Feet holes, you can put them right here. Depends. This is just like you don't really need to do this, but if you want to hold these like stairs and help the dude that's gonna be kind of roaming more by like electrical and like connector, you can do that. Again, this is like kind of bad because like obviously they're gonna push from like lobby. And you're probably gonna die, but it's more of like a waste time, for play your life there area. You don't really need to do anything in there. This is why I was saying like frost would be good just because you have like the two windows in here. And then moving into connector, you want to reinforce these two. It's just less, you know what I mean? It just helps cover here because if you're trying to like contest this area, or if you're trying to play here, and like this is open and they get that, you're just kind of like dead, honestly. So yeah, you want to play like connector, electrical. You don't really need to expand too far, like in like ranked and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how you hold it. that's how you set it up. Now to hold it, basically you just need to hold vert. Vert is going to be like, you want 1-2 people on vert, just like kind of how it always is. Just make sure that they don't get vert, because then it's going to be easier for them to plant. Try to deny this wall as much as you can. This is the wall you'd bandit Cade. Make sure if you can keep this closed, bro, you're gonna have a so much easier time with the site, right? Because if they like get this wall and then they get like vert, dude, like it's so hard to defend this site. That's why I say this is like the worst site on the map. It's not like horrible, like it's playable, but like, you know, it just, both the other sites are, I think, a lot better, or the other 3 sites. So yeah, make sure you do that. Make sure you kind of hold this kitchen drop, because people will kind of overhaul that. That's why you make the feet holes and stuff like that. So just hold like kind of around it, you know what I mean? Hold a vert, make sure they try not to get that wall. You know, hold vending area. It really just like the way you should play it really just depends on like, are they going very vert heavy? Are they trying to go very linearly where they're pushing like lounge, they're pushing like vending, they're pushing from like XO up, so he's pushing like this dude off? Are they going for like a kitchen drop or like a kitchen take where like one's sitting on window, they like ying it, flash it, stun it, smoke it, and then they go like hatch drop and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways that the attackers can attack this site, so I would just be careful. Make sure, you know, you bring your C4s, make sure you bring your smokes so you can defend plants and stuff like that. Make sure you probably you could bring a warden. Make sure you bring your roamers, trap operators for sure. Make sure you bring your trap operators. And yeah, that's how you defend and set the site up. All right, so moving into the attack side of the video, the first site I'm going to be showing you guys how to attack is going to be the second floor. Now, there's 2 ways you can push this site, I feel like, and both of them require getting the IT breach. So the first kind of attack would be like a garage, an IT push with like some pressure from like water stairs or whatever you call. I like outside of CT. I literally cannot think of the name. I'm sorry. If somebody can put it in the comments so it's not like super confusing. So basically, when you're attacking this second floor site, you always want to get IT. No matter what you're pushing, you always want to get IT wall open, just because of the pressure it gives, right? Because it's literally one room and you're just in the site, right? And you're in garage. So make sure you're getting IT breach. If you're doing this like more of a front side attack, make sure you get that breach. Make sure you get, if there's a Mira and they're playing this, make sure you get this wall open, right? And that it depends on how they play it, right? Where like, hey, do they have a Mira on it? If they have a Mira on it, you know, they're probably going to try to open it, right? Or like close it if they get pressured, right? So clear garage, try to get both these walls open. And then you can kind of push through there, and like you can probably set up some picks, right? Because then they're going to be just like stuck in sight, right? Because if you're pushing in IT and you have everything open, like where are they going to be, right? They're going to be behind sorry, my refresh was so bad. I played today. Basically they're going to be behind the bomb, they're going to be behind, you know, pillar, they're going to be holding electrical, stuff like that. So like make sure when you're pushing this side, you're going like IT, you have people loaded up in like garage, and then maybe you have like one person on like this window, just so it's like putting pressure on this guy. But pretty much all you want to do is get this open, get that open, and then you want pressure over here, like into CC hall and in here, because then what that forces them to do is like you can hold it, you're basically then going for a plan in CC, right? Because what's happening is you're holding them from IT breach, right? And you're being able to hold like these crosses, and then like this site is totally chalked for them, right? Because they can't sit back here because you have somebody and people in garage. So you're holding this site, and then you have somebody over here in like CC hall holding this. So like they literally can't sit in CC without like anybody, or command center, or whatever you want to say. I'll just say CC. Nobody can stay in here. So then like you get in, you can plant, and then like everybody watches their crosses. So that's the first attack. The second one is going to be where you're taking more backside by like connector, where you're getting IT breach still, and you're like opening connector, you're like opening this wall. You're opening this wall, you're taking from here, you're taking connector, control connector, you're taking control of electrical, or E-box, or kill box, whatever you want to say, and then you're getting IT breach. So like you have this whole side, so it's basically like the reverse, you know, it's obviously like the reverse. So like obviously for the first attack, you're taking all of CC and then being able to get in and plant, and then for the other attack, you're getting in, you know, every place around server, so then you can get in. You have somebody watching from IT breach, you have someone watching the long angle from E-box, you can get in, plant, get out, play good post plant. That's basically how you attack. It's very, very simple. It just relies on you guys staying alive and getting walls open and being able to take the map control. So that's how you attack second floor with ease. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to attack the basement. Just like upstairs, I'm going to have two strats I'm going to go over. And the first one is going to require you to open both of these walls. So you're going to, first step is to open both of these walls, right? And your goal for this plant, or not for this plant, or yes, for the plant, but for this attack is going to be to plant right here in default in tank. This is the tank default spot right here, or like right here, just like in this vicinity. Okay, so basically your goal for this and like what you need to do is open both walls and then plant here, which is going to require smokes. It's going to require cover. So like running Ying, smokes, Monty, shields, so you can go like behind here is going to be very, very big, right? Because what you want to do is while you open all of this is like once this plant's down and stuff like that, you can hold this wall from here. This probably isn't going to be like all the way open. It's probably going to have feet holes. So you can sit here. You have to defend from here, right? You can have this hatch open to defend it, like post plant. So maybe if you want to take vert, so that's going to require like obviously like hard breaches upstairs. It's going to require some like roam clearing ops. Get some buck in there. Opening this breach is going to allow you to kind of just hold like, you know, like the crossfires of people trying to maybe rotate over to the default plan and stuff like that. So having this wall open is going to be big, right? And then like vert, you can make vert obviously with like the dudes that are, you know, going to end up taking this hatch for post plant. So like getting vert here helps you open the wall, helps you hold this wall, you know what I mean, and planting here. So I say plant here with this attack like strategy, but you can also plant in here. So it's basically, this is what you're doing in the shortest simple terms. You're getting both breaches open, you're controlling vert, and then you're dumping utility to go for a plant either in assembly or like assembly like over here. You can do a plant like here, or you're planting right in the tank default, which is right here, and then you're playing a good post plant. That's pretty much all it is. Operators obviously you're going to bring is either going to be like thermite, ace, right, for the wall, thatcher, any one of those operators to help you get the wall open. And then obviously for the vertical, you're going to want to bring buck, ram, sledge, hard breaches, Ayana, you know, or not Ayana, Habana is what I meant. Habana or hard breaches. And then, you know, if you want to go like anti-flank, you can go for those. You can go for some roam clearing ops like Jackal, Deimos, stuff like that. And then again, basically for this is you want to just overload on utility is like the last thing. So bringing people like Grim, bringing people with smokes, bringing people with like Capital, who has the 2 smokes, 2 flames, you know what I mean? Just smoke grenades, stun grenades, Ying, all that good stuff, sends. So those are the operators you're going to need for this attack. Now the other attack that I was going to talk about, I'm going to try to go through it a little bit quicker than that one, but it's basically where you're going to do the same thing where you're going to take vert. You don't really need vert anywhere but assembly room. So you're going to take assembly vert over the breach and all of an assembly. You're going to open this wall, and then once you take the top floor, which I like to think that this more is like a top down, so you're taking like the top floor, and then you're getting like the breach off of that, and then you're going down and you're taking exo, right? So you're pushing the people out of exo. You're making sure that you have totally you have control of exo, you have control of, you know, everything that you need to, right? So you have control of exo, you have control of upstairs, vertical, and then you have control of the main breach, and then you go for a plant right here. This is default plant in assembly. So basically I would say that is the second attack where you're taking control of upstairs first, right? You're clearing everything. It's all good and dandy, right? And then you're pushing down to the main breach, getting the assembly double breach open while you have vert, and then you're also pushing down exo while you have vert, while you have somebody on the assembly breach, and then you're getting in and planting and then playing a good post plant, right? You can bring a utility dumps in here, like Grim would be very, very good. Just make sure you don't get C4'd or anything, right? And that is basically how you attack the basement of Nighthaven Labs. All right, so moving on to the first floor storage attack. Basically, this attack is going to be a top-down attack where you're going to be, you know, I don't have 2 for this one, I just have 1. But basically, this is like one you can universally use where you're basically going to be taking the top floor control where you're bringing, you know, whatever operators you need to do this, where you're bringing like roam clear operators, and you're bringing like vert operators to play vert, where it's like ram, you know, buck, sledge, you're bringing like Deimos, Jackal, Dokkaebi, all those fun operators. Flores if you need to clear any utility, Twitch if you need to clear like the Mira here or Mira's upstairs or anything like that, right? And hard breachers to like get this wall because this will be closed, and then if you need to bring like a thatch or anything to open this wall. So those are what you need to do. So basically your goal is to plant there. So like what you're doing is just taking the top floor, taking like IT, all of this stuff, taking control of top garage, and then you want basically end goal is somebody jumps through this window and plants right here, right? So that's pretty much easy when you have IT, because you can see everything, right? That's going to be pretty much the default rotate right there. You're going to be able to kill people right there. You know, here's a door out of lounge right there, and then pretty much that's all you have to do for this attack. Obviously, you're going to want to open other things. So like opening this double is going to be very, very good right onto bottom garage, because you're going to be able to then, you know, defend if anybody's running across bottom garage. You know, you can have someone lurk like over here, right? And just like kind of keep someone's attention, and then like when the time's right, he can, you know, come in and, you know, defend the plant. But the only thing I would say you really need to watch out for, right, is going to be the player underneath in C4s, right? C4s and players underneath, which if you have vert, it's going to be hard to like, you know, get a C4 all the way over here, right? But the big thing is watch for people underneath. If you need to send someone to clear someone underneath, please go send them to clear underneath, because literally this could be ruined, right? You could have like someone playing Velk, or like you could have like a bulletproof like right here, and then when you go to default plant, someone could be underneath and just C4 you, right? Or impact and kill you, right? Or it could be a Solus underneath. So make sure you're clearing downstairs. But basically, in summary, you need to go top, take IT, take upstairs, take top garage, go down, and then, you know, from there you come down, you set up your execute, which is going to be a default plant right on default. It's going to be a default plant, and then if you need to play, you know, post plant, you open this, right, and then you play underneath if you need to. That's basically what you're doing. What operators you're going to need, pretty much you're going to need hard breach, things to get the walls open, therm, ace, maverick, thatcher. You're going to need utility clearing things, so that's going to be like Flores, Twitch, Brava if you need to. You're going to need to bring actual roam clearing, which is going to be Deimos, Jackal, things like that. A lot of mismatch operators you can bring, you know, like if you really want to, you can bring like a blitz in here, like, because that's very good. Because like you bring a blitz and then like you have top control, and then like you could have a blitz run at this dude while you're holding upstairs with like the dude with the C4. If they have like a smoke trying to smoke this off, you just run at him with blitz, and then that distracts somebody so they can plant here, right? So shields, all that stuff. You know, I'm not going to repeat myself, but basically those are operators you need to bring. That's how you attack the first floor storage with ease. All right, so last side we're going to be talking about on how to attack is going to be first floor kitchen and cafeteria. And the best way I think to attack this site is going to be first by taking vert and then going for a plant. So what I mean by taking vert is you want to take first this meeting room. So you want to be bringing your sledges, you want to be bringing your bucks, you want to be bringing your rams, your soft destruction, and basically just ripping up this floor, right? You want to just rip this up, because this site is literally just all soft. It is all soft. So rip everything up, make it literally unplayable for the defenders, right? Make it just insanely unplayable where they like can't be anywhere within the site, right? That is basically what you want to do first, right? You want to just open everything. You want to open the entire floor. You want to have people sitting on vert. I would probably recommend like probably two would probably be good. And then for the like the main like actual plant, what you should be doing is like once you take vert and you push everybody, honestly what you should be trying to do is get into kitchen. So like flashing, bringing stuff to get in, and then you can get in and plant, right? Sorry. Oh yeah, you can't plant in here. I was like, what the heck? No, you can't plant. So you like want to get in and be able to plant kitchen. That would be like the best ideal situation where like you are even applying pressure to here. But then you have to, you know, worry about these feet holes too. So make sure you guys are worrying about that. But if you can't get in kitchen from the vert, the other thing you can do is like open this big wall, which you probably should do anyway, even if you aren't pushing this way, because basically what this is like if you have vert above the whole site, right? And like literally like look at this, bro, like you cannot be anywhere, right? You can't be over here, you can't be over there, you can't be over there, and then you also have this wall open with people putting pressure on it. It's easy, bro. It's easy, because then what, you like smoke, and then people will think you're planting like default. In reality, you can come over here, sneak down for a plant. So like pretty much it's just opening vert, opening everything to then set yourself up to be able to go for a plant in whatever way, and whatever way is easiest for you guys. Like, is it, hey, jump in through the kitchen window and get a plant down there? Hey, smoke this off. Or hey, get right here and plant. Or hey, you know, smoke, or sends, you know what I mean? Get over here, ying, get over here and stuff like that. So basically, that is probably the way that I would attack the site. You know what I mean? It's going to be more of like, it's just adaptability. Once you take vert, it's just you need to recognize where you need to go, right? So operator wise, obviously soft destruction, I'd bring like a buck for sure. You can bring a ram, sledge. I'd probably bring a ram or a buck. I would also bring like hard breach. This is probably going to be like cated or bandited, so make sure you're bringing like a thermite or an ace, and then you're bringing like your thatcher or drone operator to clear this off. Make sure you're clearing the utility. A lot of people like castle here, so bringing that would be very, very good. You know, bringing like a Flores or something like that, or a Twitch. Make sure you open this hatch too. I don't know if I said that, but make sure, this is another thing, make sure you open this hatch. So like you want probably like hard breaches and stuff, because then that just makes it way easier to like post plant, because people can't just like sit in here. So yeah, bringing soft breach, bringing people to get the wall, bringing smokes, you know, utility operators. Grim is very, very good on like a lot of these sites, because you know you're going for a plant most of the time, and stuff like that. So that is how I would attack first for kitchen, cafeteria with these. All right, so that's going to be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one and are now well informed on Nighthaven, or now can take some of the stuff, even if it's like one or two things, and now implement it into your Nighthaven games, and win more rounds and win more games, because that's why I make these videos, right? But yeah, before we end it, you know, make sure you go down to the description. All my socials, my Twitch and stuff is linked down there. And then make sure you like subscribe button if you did learn something, enjoy the video. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see any other maps upcoming that I haven't done, let me know in the comments below, so I can get you guys what you want to watch. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.